I am here. Hopefully today is going to be a short one. I don't like the looks of that. Okay, so my padding's going to be suspicious.
Still wake up sometimes, don't you? You wake up in the dark.
I need to get out and go inside myself.
Spread eagle.
People are not going to be pleased.
But they'll understand.
No.
Hi, I'm Misery, and today we are going to be doing some wig washing and talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th series. Look, the wig washing, I'm not the person to learn all these tips from. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. I'm also, let's talk about pop culture while incidentally doing weird stuff. I source my buckets from work, and when I wash wigs, I just use shampoo and conditioner. Just the cheap stuff. Sometimes dishwashing liquid if it's, sweaty wig. These two movie franchises, probably the reason why I've picked them to compare against each other ultimately is because of the Freddy vs. Jason Smackdown movie. I thought it would be a fun way to look at two movie series and compare them, because both series has movies I hate and will never want to rewatch. And some of them, people feel that way about certain movies in the franchise. I will be the opposite with those movies. Like, for instance, I kind of do like Jason Takes Manhattan, the 8th one, and I know a lot of people don't. But that being said, these two franchises I haven't really watched in a good few years. And I thought it would be a good time to start rewatching them. I want to rewatch a couple on the channel, not all of them, because that would be so much effort, and I do not have the time to do those franchises. There is, well, if you're not bleeding into the wig, it's not yours. There are 18 movies, not including the remakes. I don't like including remakes onto sequel franchises. I just don't think that makes any sense. Remakes are definitely their own thing, even if they are just direct copies of the original franchises. And I will get to ranking and looking at other remakes in the future, but today we're just looking at the sequels and original movies. So far on this list, I have ranked both of the franchises combined. As I rewatch, I think I will be trying to figure out what, I use zip ties. All the way at the other end of the house. In the 18th spot, at the last, I just cut the wig. I didn't cut anything. In last place at 18th is Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Dream Child? Yeah, Dream Child. Like, yeah, there's nuns in it, so it should be interesting, but it's the most interesting thing about it is the exploration of Freddy's mum, which had been introduced in the 3rd movie and then just left alone completely in the 4th. People really don't talk about those last few Nightmare on Elm Street movies enough because they are a mess. It took, 3 movies for that franchise to just go straight downhill? Why are you fucked up? Okay. You can honestly skip it. You can honestly just watch the first couple of them and then just skip the rest. Like, it's not really worth it. There's about 3 deaths overall. Yeah, they are kind of pretty good, and the dream sequences are fantastical, but overall that movie's just so blah. The child actor, I try not to bully kids, but my god, that was a bad kid actor. And let's just move on to 17.
The spread eagle.
Which goes to Jason Goes to Hell. I think it's Friday the 13th Part 9. And it definitely feels like Part 9. The director, I don't know, I don't think he was even really a fan of Jason. He was more so interested in making an Evil Dead movie. Jason isn't even really in the movie in which he's meant to go to hell. He's probably in the movie a total of 10 minutes, if that being generous. I don't have to really think about this. This is just going to be a lightning ranking video. I don't know why I'm trying to memorize things about the movies, because I haven't seen them in ages. This is just meant to be like a pre-ranking before I get to rewatching the entire series. So let's just say 17, Jason Goes to Hell. At 16 is Freddy's Dead. Alice Cooper shows up, sure, but it definitely feels like a late 90s, might not even be late 90s, From what I remember, very lackluster, low budget kind of feel. It has a feeling of several scripts combined together to make whatever that movie was. At 15, I know people are going to be really shocked to hear this, hearing it come so low, especially where it's the movie where Jason Voorhees gets his hockey mask. But next up is Friday the 13th Part 3. It is the third movie in that franchise, and it doesn't do anything different from the first two. It's just a retread, and it makes so much sense for when they made that one that they're like, okay, the next one we make, we're just gonna kill them off and get it over with. Because the third one is just, rewatch it. It's not good. I'm honestly probably gonna skip it in my rewatch because I remember it so well. Because it's probably, where are you licking your lips? Anyway, so yeah, it's just, I don't know, overhyped maybe just not for me. What is it? Next up, shockingly again so low, is Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. I'm a massive fan of Tom Savini's work as a special effects makeup artist. He is by far one of the most iconic names in the industry. And I do have a feeling this one will be one of the ones that move up quite high in my rewatch. It's just that there's so many of them. So many movies in both franchises that it's really difficult to rank all of them accurately, especially if I haven't seen them in a long time. I skipped one. So the final chapter, the final Friday Part 4, whatever it's called, is actually supposed to be at number 13. And at 14 we have the original Friday the 13th. Listen, I remember it well. I've shown it to many friends. It's not the best. Yeah, there's some memorable moments and okay, number 12, we've got Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. I just remember not liking this movie at all. And I got very worried watching it, thinking, oh, so that line in Scream where the first one's good but the rest suck is very accurate. Thankfully there are some good ones in the franchise after the first one. I just remember not liking the second one. So at number 11 we've got Green Monster Part 4, a unsuccessful continuation of the third one. Number 10, You Can All Stop Worrying. It is Jason Takes Manhattan. It is not going to go any higher than 10th place. That is going to be Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. This movie, I just can't wait to get to it. I reckon we'll get to it in November, definitely before the year's over. At number 8, one that I really don't really remember it well. I've probably only seen it twice. It is Friday the 13th, 6, Jason Lives. It is a comedy meta horror, early meta horror. There's a scene where they parody James Bond in that opening. Anyway, at number 7, Friday the 13th Part 7, A New Blood. For a long time it was my favourite Friday the 13th, and who knows, it might become my favourite one again on real characters all being very cliche, but in a fun way where it's like, oh, so I really don't have to remember them. I can just remember the tropes, and okay, good, they're gone. 6th place. It is the reason for this comparison between franchises. It is Freddy vs. Jason, a movie that was in development for well over 10 years, I'm sure. And it's a 2000s movie. It's a fun time. I think that's a big part of the reason why it's so high up on my list. In the top 5 is Friday the 13th Part 2. I don't think there is anything, it's just Part 2. I really adored this movie because it's one of the most recent ones I've rewatched. A lot of people have been talking about it in the past few years, and it's pretty much the first one redone, but a lot better. Jason is scary in it. There's just a lot of characters that are really likable, and it's a fun watch. Now, my top 4 definitely I don't think is going to change. Maybe between themselves, but I don't think anything is going to break this top 4. At 4th place we've got Wes Craven's New Nightmare on Elm Street 7 if you want, and it was his testing grounds for Scream in creating something really meta. It's an amazing story where it's the actors from the movies, it's like 2 in the morning. Terrified it took so long. God damn it. Let's just move on to the 3rd place, which is Jason X. I definitely can see this one taking my top spot. It's Jason Voorhees in space. I think all the horror franchises could use a space entry. I want a Scream entry in space so badly. I just want stab movies. They look so terrible, I just want them all. In 2nd place, a movie I've watched at many sleepovers growing up, is the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, that's been there the whole time. Oh, I cleaned up in here and I left that there. Anyway, Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. In first place, we've got Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. Let's just add some audio in. Yeah. Okay, that's enough time. Please follow me on Instagram. Follow me here, subscribe, like, comment. I don't know. You can do it in that order if you want. You can do it in any order. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Bye.